Ariana stood under the heavy gray sky, rain sliding down her umbrella as she stared at her father's closed casket. The cemetery was full of people, but she had never felt more alone. Her siblings, Marcus and Danielle, didn't even look in her direction. Instead, they stood close to Elaine Porter, the woman who broke their family apart, whispering with her as though she belonged there more than Ariana did. Elaine looked perfect, dressed in a black coat that probably cost more than Ariana's monthly salary. Her eyes were dry, her posture confident, and yet she placed a hand on her chest like she was the one grieving the most. People around her nodded with sympathy, some even patting her back. Ariana watched from a few feet away, feeling invisible. She took a small step closer, hoping to hear what they were whispering. Marcus' voice cut through the rain. Elaine should lead the procession, he said. She was the one he truly loved. Danielle nodded quickly, glancing at Ariana with a cold, tight smile. Ariana's stomach twisted. Her father had made many mistakes, but hearing her own siblings erase her, felt like a punch to the heart. When the service was about to begin, Ariana moved toward the front row where immediate family was supposed to sit. She had barely reached the aisle when Marcus stepped in front of her. "You don't deserve the front row," he said in a low, sharp voice. "Don't make a scene." Ariana froze. Rain soaked the hem of her dress. People were watching. She forced herself to breathe slowly, to stay calm, but her chest felt heavy. Elaine walked past her, placing a soothing hand on Marcus' arm, pretending to be the peacemaker. "It's all right," Elaine said softly, loud enough for the crowd to hear. "Let her be. We must all rise above anger today." Her words were gentle, but her eyes held a victorious shine. The crowd murmured, believing Elaine was the grieving partner left behind. Ariana wanted to scream the truth, that Elaine had ruined everything, that she had taken their father away long before he died. But no one here would listen. Not when Elaine smiled so sweetly and Ariana stood alone, shivering in the rain. When Ariana finally found a seat at the far end of the row, she felt the weight of judgment on her shoulders. Danielle turned slightly to whisper something to Elaine, and they all glanced at Ariana with the same cold pity mixed with blame. She clenched her hands together, trying to steady herself. This was her father's funeral, yet she was treated like a stranger. As the pastor began speaking, Ariana stared at the casket, her eyes burning. There were too many questions, too many secrets, too many ways everything had fallen apart. But one thought cut through the noise, quiet but certain. When the will is read, everything will finally make sense. Ariana had always been the forgotten child. The quiet one, the observant one. The girl who learned to fold herself into small spaces so no one would be bothered by her presence. Marcus and Danielle had loud voices, loud opinions, and loud personalities. They filled every room with noise, while Ariana slipped into corners, watching everything but saying little. Growing up in the Cole household was like living under a strict set of invisible rules. Their father, Judge Henry Cole, believed in discipline above all else. His voice was sharp, his expectations high, and his disappointment even higher. But with Ariana, there was something different, something softer. He never said it out loud, never showed too much affection, but she felt it in small moments. A hand resting briefly on her shoulder. A quiet nod across the dinner table. A rare smile meant only for her when no one else was looking. Those little moments were what kept her going. Everything changed when Ariana was 14. Her mother died suddenly, and the house lost whatever warmth it had left. Marcus became angrier, always shouting. Danielle became needy, always crying. And their father became colder, burying himself in work and silence. Ariana had no space to grieve. She simply disappeared further into herself. That was when Elaine Porter entered their lives. Elaine came as a paralegal in Henry's office, but she soon became much more. She had money, charm, and expensive gifts. Marcus got a new watch, just because. Danielle got designer clothes she could never afford. They started calling Elaine for advice, for company, even for comfort. Things they never sought from Ariana. Ariana watched it all happen like a shadow standing in the doorway. She tried to stay kind, tried to keep peace, but every time she opened her mouth, someone spoke over her. Every time she tried to help, someone pushed her away. Elaine knew how to win people. Not with love but with things. And Ariana had nothing to offer except honesty, something no one seemed to want. When she turned 18, Ariana left home for college. She didn't leave with anger or bitterness. She left for survival. Being away from the family drama felt like breathing fresh air for the first time. She studied social work, wanting to help people who felt unseen. Maybe because she understood exactly what that felt like. Meanwhile, Marcus and Danielle grew closer to Elaine. They visited her more than they visited their own father. They spoke about her as if she were already part of the family. Ariana only came home for important occasions, and even then, she felt like a guest in her own childhood house. Their father aged quickly. He was still strict, still serious, but every time Ariana visited, he seemed more tired, more distant. Still, there were hints that he cared. Small notes he left her, gentle questions about her work, and once, a quiet confession. "You have a good heart, Ariana." She held on to that sentence for years. But her siblings saw something else entirely. They believed Ariana was the favorite, the one who got the soft side of Henry Cole, the one he listened to, the one he trusted. They hated her for that, even though she never asked for it. The tension grew with every passing year. When their father fell ill, Ariana visited as often as she could, but Marcus and Danielle always acted like she had no right to be there. Elaine, elegant and polished, stayed close to him, too close. She whispered things that made the siblings laugh and made Ariana's skin crawl. She hosted dinners, made decisions, planned events. Slowly, she took over the family without them even noticing. After Henry died, the funeral reception showed Ariana just how deep Elaine's influence had grown. Elaine's name was everywhere, printed on the program, mentioned in the obituary, spoken by every guest. She stood by the fireplace giving a long speech about Henry's last wishes, as though she had been his wife. People nodded, clapped, even cried. Ariana stood in the corner, stunned. Marcus and Danielle stayed glued to Elaine's side, whispering with her, taking orders from her, smiling at her like obedient children. They didn't ask Ariana how she was holding up. They didn't sit with her. They didn't even make eye contact. Ariana knew then that whatever family she once had was gone. She was standing in a room full of familiar faces, yet she had never felt more alone. Every step she took, every word she tried to speak, reminded her that she didn't belong anymore, or maybe she never had. The pain of the past mixed with the coldness of the present, tightening around her like a rope. And beneath it all lived one heavy truth. Elaine hadn't just entered their lives. She had replaced them all. And Ariana was the one paying the price. This was the world she would have to face as the will reading approached, and something inside her told her that everything was about to change. The will reading begins at Henry's law chambers. The room is quiet, cold, and filled with tense energy. Ariana sits in a chair by the wall, her hands shaking slightly. She doesn't know what to expect, but she knows one thing for sure. No one in this room is on her side. Elaine enters first, dressed in another expensive black outfit. She walks straight to the front and sits confidently, crossing her legs, a smug smile sitting proudly on her face. Marcus and Danielle follow her like loyal guards, taking the chairs beside her. None of them look at Ariana. They leave the entire row empty next to them, forcing Ariana to sit alone. The attorney, Mr. Hayes, clears his throat and opens a thick folder. "This is the official will of Judge Henry Cole," he begins. Elaine tilts her head, already smiling as though she knows she's about to win. But then Mr. Hayes stops. He flips another page. His voice lowers. "There is a second will," he says, "signed 2 weeks before Henry's passing." Elaine's smile freezes. Her fingers grip the arm of her chair. Marcus frowns. "Second will? Why would he?" Mr. Hayes continues, ignoring him. "This newer will replaces the first one completely." Ariana's heart pounds. She didn't know about any second will. No one did. Mr. Hayes reads the list calmly, but every line hits the room like a hammer. "The house goes to Ariana Cole." Marcus jerks forward. Danielle gasps loudly. Mr. Hayes continues. "All retirement investments, savings, and personal funds to Ariana Cole." Ariana's breath catches. She can't believe what she's hearing. "And Judge Cole's old case files also go to Ariana. He left instructions that she should receive them." Case files? Ariana doesn't understand why those matter. But her father clearly had a reason. Mr. Hayes turns a page. Marcus Cole and Danielle Cole are left small trust funds. Nothing more. Danielle's face turns red. And finally, the attorney says. Elaine Porter is left with nothing. Silence hits the room like a slap. Elaine stands so fast her chair scrapes the floor. Nothing? Nothing, she screams. This must be a mistake. Marcus jumps up too. Ariana did this. She manipulated him. She tricked him when he was sick. Ariana shakes her head quickly. No, I didn't. Enough, Mr. Hayes says firmly. Judge Cole also prepared a video message. The room goes completely still. He presses play. Henry's face appears on the screen, older and tired, but his eyes sharp. If you are seeing this, he says, then my second will has been opened. Elaine folds her arms tightly. Marcus glares at the screen. Henry continues, speaking slowly. I made choices I believe are right. I know there will be anger. But the truth matters more than comfort. Then he looks directly into the camera, and it feels like he is staring into Ariana's soul. Ariana, there are things you must know. Protect yourself. The video ends. Ariana sits frozen in the chair, her heart beating fast. Her father didn't just leave her his home and money. He left her a warning. Danielle threatens legal action the very same day the will is read. She corners Ariana outside the law chambers, her voice sharp and shaking with anger. I'm taking you to court, Danielle snaps. There's no way Dad left you everything. You forced him. You tricked him. Ariana tries to stay calm. Danielle, I didn't do anything. But Danielle walks away before she can finish. By evening, Marcus has already begun spreading lies. He calls relatives, messages old family friends, and posts online. He tells everyone that Ariana brainwashed their father, that she poisoned him against his own children. Ariana sees screenshots of the lies. Her stomach twists. She doesn't know how they can hate her so easily. That night, when she moves into her father's house, she tries to settle in and breathe. But around midnight, there is a knock on the door. A soft, slow knock. Ariana's heart jumps. She peeks through the window. Elaine is standing outside. Her arms folded. Her expression calm but threatening. Ariana opens the door only a few inches. Why are you here? Elaine smiles, but it is not a friendly smile. I just wanted to congratulate you, she says softly. You won. For now. Ariana holds her breath. Elaine leans closer. But everything your father left you will slip right out of your hands. You're not strong enough to keep it. Before Ariana can respond, Elaine turns and walks away into the dark, her heels clicking like a warning. Ariana locks every door and window in the house. Minutes later, her phone vibrates. Unknown number. You should be careful. You took what wasn't yours. Another message follows. You won't keep it for long. Ariana's hands tremble. She deletes nothing. She takes screenshots. But fear spreads through her chest. The next morning, she forces herself to focus. She remembers her father's video message. There are things you must know. She goes to his study and opens the box of old case files he left for her. Most files are old legal matters, divorce cases, fraud cases, appeals, but one file makes her stop. It is a corporate fraud case. The company name is bold on the top, Harlington and Pierce Corporation. Elaine's employer. Ariana reads more. The case mentions illegal payments, secret accounts, money transfers, and names she recognizes. She reads until her head spins. Then she finds something worse. A handwritten note from Henry. Ariana, if you are seeing this, it means I did not get the chance to explain. Look deeper into Elaine's connections. Be cautious. A cold chill runs down Ariana's spine. Her father did know something. As she continues sorting through the files, a memory flashes in her mind like a hit of lightning. A younger Ariana standing in the hallway, listening as her father yelled at Marcus and Danielle. You have taken enough, Henry had shouted. I am not your bank. Marcus yelled back. You owe us. You owe your children. Henry's voice shook, frustrated and hurt. You do not take responsibility for anything. You drain me then blame me. Ariana remembered Danielle crying afterward. Not from guilt, but from anger that Henry refused to give them more money. Now the truth is clear. They hadn't cared about their father. They only cared about what he could give them. Ariana wipes her eyes and goes back to reading. At the bottom of the corporate fraud file, she finds another document, a bank statement. Two names stand out. Hélène Porter, Marcus Cole. Together, linked to an attempt to access Henry's accounts. Ariana feels dizzy. Marcus and Elaine had once tried to take money from her father. Maybe more than once. Henry must have known and protected himself with the second will. The weight becomes too much. Ariana sinks to the floor, hugging her knees. Tears spill out before she can stop them. I don't deserve this, she whispers. I don't know how to handle this. I'm alone. She cries until her chest aches. She feels small, scared, and unprepared. But then she remembers something else. Henry trusted her. Henry chose her. She wipes her face, stands up, and breathes slowly. Later that week, the rising tension explodes. Marcus shows up at the house, pounding on the door. Ariana refuses to open it. She speaks through the door, voice shaking. Marcus, please leave. But he doesn't. He shouts, threatens, curses. Then Ariana hears glass breaking. He has climbed through a window. Ariana runs and locks herself in the nearest room. She calls the police with trembling hands. When they arrive, Marcus is caught in the hallway screaming. The security cameras captured everything. His anger, his threats, his break-in. The police handcuff him. Ariana stands in the doorway, shaking as Marcus glares at her. This is all your fault, he spits. But her father's warning echoes in her mind once again. Protect yourself. Maybe for the first time, she is finally doing just that. Ariana's attorney advises taking the evidence to court. He speaks gently but firmly. You have everything you need, Ariana. The case files, the bank records, the threats, the break-in. If you don't act now, they will keep coming after you. Ariana nods slowly. She is tired, scared, but she knows her father trusted her for a reason. A week later, everyone meets at the courthouse. The air feels heavy, like a storm waiting to break. Marcus and Danielle sit together, faces tight with anger. Elaine sits in front, pretending to be calm, but her hands shake slightly. Ariana sits with her attorney, holding the folder of evidence close to her chest. The judge enters and the hearing begins. Ariana's attorney rises first. He presents the bank records showing Marcus and Elaine trying to access Henry's accounts. He shows the threatening messages, the security footage of the break-in, and the corporate fraud file linked to Elaine's employer. Then he presents Henry's handwritten notes, proof that Henry knew he was being manipulated. The courtroom goes silent. Elaine finally snaps. This is ridiculous. Henry loved me. He trusted me. Ariana's attorney looks straight at her. Actually, he didn't. He reveals the part of the file that Henry hid for Ariana. A document showing Elaine was connected to a legal case years ago. A case that could have destroyed her career. She hid evidence. Henry knew. And Elaine had used that secret to blackmail him, forcing her way into his family. Gasps fill the courtroom. Danielle covers her mouth. Marcus's face goes pale. But the secrets don't stop there. Ariana's attorney continues. Marcus and Danielle knew Henry was being threatened. They kept quiet because Elaine promised them money and expensive gifts. The judge turns to them. Is this true? Danielle starts crying. Marcus stays frozen, jaw tight, saying nothing. The judge takes a deep breath. The will stands. Judge Henry Cole made his decisions freely. And this court is opening a fraud investigation against Elaine Porter. Elaine shoots up from her seat. No. You can't do this. I won't let this happen. She tries to walk out, but two officers block her. Her face twists with rage as they handcuff her. This is all your fault, Ariana. All your fault. Ariana feels a strange mix of sadness and relief, but the biggest twist is still ahead. Ariana stands slowly. Your Honor, my father left one more message. A private one. She hands a USB drive to the court clerk, who plays the video on the screen. Henry appears again, older, tired, but honest. I knew this day would come, he begins. I knew my children would fight. I knew Elaine would try to take what wasn't hers. Marcus looks away. Danielle sobs harder. Henry continues, his voice softening. I made my decisions carefully. My inheritance, it was not about money. It was about trust. He looks straight into the camera. Ariana, you are the only one who never tried to take from me. You are the only one who stood by me without wanting anything in return. Ariana's eyes fill with tears. Henry's final words echo through the room. I'm proud of you. Protect yourself. The video ends. Silence spreads across the courtroom like a blanket. Danielle breaks down completely, shaking and crying. Elaine screams as officers pull her out of the room. But the most shocking reaction comes from Marcus. For the first time in years he breaks. His face crumples. His voice cracks. I lost him a long time ago, he whispers. I didn't even see it. Ariana watches him, feeling both heartache and distance. They are siblings, but their choices have built a wall that may never be fixed. And now at last, the truth is out. Ariana chooses not to press personal charges against her siblings, but she makes one clear decision. She will cut all emotional ties with them. She cannot change their choices, and she cannot let their greed and lies continue to hurt her. It is a painful decision, but she knows it is necessary for her own peace. For the first time in years, Ariana moves into her father's home alone. The house is quiet, filled with memories, and for the first time, it feels like hers. She walks through the empty rooms, touching the walls, breathing in the air, and letting herself finally relax. The weight she carried for so long begins to lift, slowly but surely. She starts restoring the home, fixing what has been broken, cleaning rooms that had been neglected, and arranging furniture just as she likes it. Every small task feels like a piece of healing. With each nail hammered and each brush of paint, she feels stronger. The house is not just a building. It is a symbol of everything she has survived and everything she will rebuild. Ariana also begins to rebuild herself from the inside. She joins therapy to help process the years of hurt, anger, and isolation. She learns to set boundaries, to say no without guilt, and to trust her own judgment. Every session, every reflection, adds a layer of confidence and self-respect she had never allowed herself to feel before. She decides to use part of her inheritance for good. Ariana starts a small legal support fund for families broken by lies, manipulation, and greed. She wants others to have the help and protection she wished she had years ago. The fund is her way of honoring her father's trust and making something meaningful from the pain she endured. One quiet afternoon, Ariana sits in her father's study. She opens the final box of papers and finds his handwritten letters. Each one is simple, honest, full of advice, small memories, and love. She reads them slowly, savoring each word. His voice feels alive in the pages. He never spoke it aloud enough, but she can feel his pride, his guidance, and his care. Ariana smiles, a small but real smile. She folds the letters carefully and keeps them in a drawer where she can always find them. She feels a sense of closure, not from revenge, not from punishment, but from understanding and peace. For the first time in a long time, Ariana feels free. Free from lies, free from manipulation, free from the shadows of a family that could not see her worth. She has her home, her father's love in his letters, and her own strength. She knows the road ahead will still have challenges, but she is ready. She finally trusts herself and the life she will build on her own terms. Ariana visits her father's grave one last time. The sky is calm now, the rain gone, leaving the air fresh and quiet. She kneels, placing her hands gently on the stone, and takes a deep breath. She doesn't speak with anger or sadness this time. Instead, her words are soft, filled with closure. "Thank you, Dad," she whispers, "for trusting me, for believing in me, even when everyone else didn't." From her pocket, she takes a folded letter and lays it on the grave. Inside, she has written her gratitude, her forgiveness, and everything she wishes she could say aloud. It is her way of letting go, of leaving the past behind. Ariana stands slowly, brushing her hands on her knees. She looks at the grave one last time and smiles gently. "You didn't leave me wealth," she says quietly, her voice steady. "You left me clarity, and that saved my life." With one final glance, she turns and walks away, alone but free. The wind blows lightly around her, carrying with it a sense of peace. She steps forward, ready to live her life on her own terms, no longer held back by pain or betrayal. Hey besties, thanks for watching all the way through. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. See you next time.